thinking, well, it's one or the other.
OK, that leaves us with Gary. Let's see what topic you have. Let's spin the wheel. And it's relationships.
Right, relationships. It's good to be here. Last time I was here, a girl asked me for sex. I had to disappoint her. We had sex. But I'm trying to learn to be a more sensitive lover. I got a DVD, How to Improve Your Foreplay Technique. It was really good. I had to fast forward through the boring bit at the beginning. Last night I had beef stew with dumplings. I shouldn't call her that, but she's a big girl. I went to see the stalactites at Cheddar Gorge, and our guide asked us not to try and crack one off, and she wasn't even that attractive. I still managed. It was very dark. This morning I went to a meeting of my premature ejaculators support group, but it turns out it's tomorrow. I think a few of the men started clapping before the end of that joke, by the way. My girlfriend's dog died, so to cheer her up, I got her an identical one. She was livid. What am I going to do with 2 dead dogs? A friend of mine had a penis extension. Now his house looks really stupid.
Very good. Can we get right around the points? Going to go to Well done. OK, go. Our next round is called Headliners. Here's a picture of the England football team, but what does PHFE stand for?
Is it everything that the England football team are no good at? Passing, headers, footwork, everything.
I think it needs to do with Rooney. I reckon it's Potato Head fancies elderly.
Or pretend hair forever.
Is it what Stephen Gerrard thinks is wrong with the team? Is it passing, heading, football,
I think it's proof that education needs reform. 2 of those men were asked to write GCSE.
Do you know that if you dial the number on their shorts, you get through to a helpline?
Ashley Cole is covering his ears as if trying to protect himself from some awful screech. So is it player hears from X?
Is it just simply players' heads found empty?
Is it an extract from Boris Johnson's commentary? Peasants, half-wits, fools, extra fights!
I'm going to move towards the correct answer.
Pregnant hooker frightens England.
Very close.
Is it, as it sadly always is, penalty heartache for England?
Yes, it is. Thank you very much. There you go. Yes, the answer originally was penalty heartache for England. This is the news that after reaching the quarter-final stages of Euro 2012, England suffered penalty agony yet again as they crashed out of the tournament in a shootout against Italy, watched by a peak audience of 23 million people. Were you among them? Were you all watching it?
Yes, we weren't very good, were we? We couldn't hold the ball very well. And there was one moment, wasn't there, where the referee, there was an Italian injury, and so he had to stop the play, and then he gave the ball back to the English players, but explained to them that he wanted them to give it back to the Italians. And I was thinking, well, he didn't have to explain that. They were going to do that anyway.
Just let the game proceed as normal for 30 seconds. They'll get it.
I thought the whole game was very unfair. I mean, the Italians had a ball. Why didn't we have one?
We lost on penalties, didn't we? Right, which was very disappointing, and we went out. But, I mean, if you look on the bright side, really, all that's happened is we would have played Germany in the next round. So all that's happened, really, is we've lost on penalties 4 days earlier than we would have.
In many ways, you've got those 4 days back.
We've got those 4 days back.
I think that it was a very telling statistic, wasn't it? That England's most frequent passer was Ashley Cole, with 44 passes, including the last one, of course, to the Italian goalkeeper in the form of a penalty.
Who was England's second most frequent passer?
would it have been Joe Hart, the goalkeeper?
Joe Hart, the goalkeeper. Who was bringing a lot of excitement. I thought Joe Hart in the goal, though. God love him, he did his best.
He did a great job.
He did his little kind of bear thing before each penalty. He was like, like I'm your little tiger. I'm going to scare you. Like, he's doing little mimes in the goal. Like, it was. I mean, it was like, he's more like an uncle with a 3-year-old. Oh, I'm a bear. I'm going to chase you.
You want to kick the ball now.
Who's got a good kick? Who's got a good kick? Oh, you go. Oh, you have a good kick. Yes.
My favourite quarter-final was, in fact, a Greece against Germany. Because I was hoping when the referee tossed the coin at the beginning, the Greek captain would nick it and piss off.
Seems to me, I'm a non-football fan. The penalty thing seems a very cruel and arbitrary way of sorting out, because they could do so many exciting things, like keep playing and every 2 minutes take a player off.
Yeah.
Once you're down to 5, introduce a lion. Do you know what I mean? Something just lively and fun. There'd be a definite ending then, and, you know, fewer players and stuff like that. Blindfold them, or, like pinball, 2-ball screwball. Every 2 minutes, put another ball on the pitch.
Multi-ball. People have suggested multi-ball in the past. I like zombie ball, where you introduce a zombie and the zombie bites people and they become zombies. Until eventually you've only a few players left, like whatever. Or
What
maybe...
happens if Rooney gets bitten, though? How would you know?
And Wayne Rooney said that having an English manager made it easier to understand tactic talks.
Those are not the words he'd have used, though. Tactic talks. That would have... He'd have gone on that.
Yes, yeah. It was because Fabio Capello was the previous manager and didn't speak English particularly well. But Fabio Capello then went on to the radio interview when he heard this and said, every now and then when I tried to explain tactics, things didn't work out. You know what? Maybe it's because Rooney doesn't speak English. Wow. Saucer of milk for Fabio Capello.
I think there are consolations to this tournament being over, because now, at last, we don't have to hear politicians talking about it, which is my least favourite thing about international football tournaments. When politicians try to be a man of the people, it's excruciating. Much worse when it's Cameron, because he's so manifestly posh. Hearing him going, that's why I say, come on, England. I shall be wearing my second-best top hat and my lucky monocle all the way through Euro 2012. I love football. It's so rare you get to see working-class people running about without having to chase them yourself with a stick.
On the plus side, though, the England fans were well behaved, because there was a lot of talk, wasn't there, about the Polish and their abusive chanting and their hooliganism. And, of course, that's what we used to be the best in the world at that. One more thing that now the Poles do better than we do.
OK, then on the pause, going to Marcus, Zoe and Andy. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panels can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to read on a health insurance form.
Would you describe the condition of your heart as A, very good, B, mediumly good, or C, boo!
Do you ever temporary blackouts?
Do objects in the middle distance appear to be coming to me, to you, to me, to you? You may be suffering from chuckle vision.
Are you suffering from, or have you ever had, an STD, you slag?
Are you the only black guy in a horror film?
Have you ever experienced a burning sensation when you pee? Were you drunk at the time and holding a cigarette at the same time?
Please describe your alcohol intake. Moderate, average, excessive, Glaswegian.
What's your blood type? He can do 50 words a minute, innit, bruv?
Buddhists, what was your last cause of death?
Do you suffer from dyslexia? If so, please put a bic in this tox.
Do you smoke? Can I have one?
Do you hear voices? No. Are you deaf? No. So you do hear voices? Yes. I'm sorry, you have lied.
Would you describe yourself as very fit, quite fit, or a bit of a minger?
Do you suffer from dizziness, double vision, or seizures? Then why did you take a penalty for England?
OK, the next topic is unlikely lines from a war movie.
Bad luck, Sir Winston. I'm afraid the Second World War's gone to penalties.
I'm going to go and rescue a horse that's trapped in the wire. You put the potatoes on.
We've located the battleship. It is in the squares B5, B6, B7, 8, 9.
I was sent upriver in Vietnam, tasked with killing a renegade colonel. That was one hell of a gap year.
I haven't seen a case of trench foot this bad since the Isle of Wight festival.
It is better to die on your feet than live on your knees. Anyway, enough about that Talisa video.
Well, if nothing else, this is going to make a lovely tapestry.
We're at 5,000 fathoms. Bing! The hull will never take it, Captain. Bing! And you going bing isn't helping either.
Louis, this could be the start of a beautiful friendship, but only if you dress up as a nurse and give me a discharge.
Sir, new intelligence has come in from the letters page of the Daily Mail, and it seems Herr Hitler has a point.
I can't stand sound of the guns. Why did I move to Tottenham?
In the Marines, our motto is no one gets left behind. Private Cameron, where is your daughter?
We make an amphibious landing here. We scale the cliff, avoid the sweeper, bounce on the big balls, and I'll meet you in the wipeout zone.
Chaps, we're about to go over the top. I have a message for you from High Command. Simply says, war! What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again now. War!
Don't put your stuff in that one. It's got a really catchy edge on it. I call it the Hurt Locker.
Medic! 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 I'll tell you what the problem is. I've been shot in my dick.
OK, and the boys over to Chris, Hugh and Gary. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Chris Addison, Hugh Dennis and Gary Delaney. Commiserations to Andy Parsons, Zoe Lyons and Marcus Brixton. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.
Mock the Week is back on Thursday at 10 for its 100th show. Drama next tonight on BBC Two. Catch up with the thrilling new police series Line of Duty. And then more comedy. Matt's ex-wife is making mischief in episodes at 11:40.